People in the waiting room. It's raining. I know when it's raining, people don't come.
Yeah, it's so dark. Also, I feel like it's gonna be so much about having a business meeting today. I guess it was a mega camp.
David's there, Dustin's there, Brett's there. Hey. Hey, morning, guys. Glad you're on. I'm going to get us set up on this rainy day. I think our in-person, Serenity and I were just talking, I think our in-person crowd will be a little light since we're not having business meeting. And it's raining, so I guess agents melt because I always see less people when it's raining. Or when the weather is bad. So let me get today's materials up so we can get going. We are focusing, we're going to go back and talk about homework though, because I didn't forget, and I hope you didn't either. I didn't forget about homework. So I see Ryan on, Matt on, Autumn on. Remember, if you can be on camera, that is always, always my preference. I understand if you can't. However, I do like looking at faces. So much better. Share screen for our materials. Can you all hear me online okay? Okay. Oh, good. Here we go. We'll, I've got to minimize you guys down. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm gonna close the door real quick.
It's not too noisy, but you just never know when it will get noisy. I'm wanting to come on.
Well, we here in the Market Center, we've been listening to Gary Keller and giving the market update at Mega Camp. And Serenity and I were just talking about this, and she said that next year she wants to be able to save her money and be able to attend Mega Camp, which I think is awesome. We have two big conventions or events, and they are Family Reunion in February. The location usually rotates, and it is the biggest event. Good morning, John. Of the two events, it is it is huge. It's usually about 15 to 17,000 Keller Williams agents from all across the world, not just the United States, but the world, which is really cool. You can be walking around and hearing other languages being spoken. And so I find that fascinating and really cool. The other event, Mega Camp, that's going on right now. Mega Camp's always in Austin, although because we've been growing, I've been hearing that they might have to take it somewhere else because we're outgrowing the Austin City Convention Center. Well, and it's a very comfortable convention center. Both of them, you get to hear top agents all around the United States. And in Mega Camp, it's more like panel interviews. Actually, we have two of our agents who are going to be, Steve Johnson is going to be on a panel, and then Kyle Talbot is going to be on a panel at Mega Camp. And that's kind of a really big deal It's a really big deal. So we're very excited that they're both going to be at Mega Camp and representing our office. And David's down there, Dustin's down there, Brett's down there. That's the reason we're not having the business meeting today. However, that's not going to stop us from learning and growing, because that's why we're here. This is we're starting our 4th week of Lead Gen 36-12-3. And I'd love to get a little feedback from all of you about what have you thought about the content and what has been some of the things that you've taken from this experience so far in the first 3 weeks. In the first 3 weeks, we did the Power of One was the intro session. Then we did building validity and positioning. Last week we did prospecting. And then this week was marketing. So who wants to share what they've gotten out of the Lead Gen 36-12-3?
Last week, or two Thursdays ago, just another good exercise in kind of centering what our business is, like what we're marketing ourselves as. It's easy to kind of lose track of, what you should be marketing. So
Yeah, and also that you're valid, even though you're brand new. Serenity, what are some of the things you've taken away?
I would agree with that, because even like conversations with people, I feel like I'm giving them my value, but I still just have to figure out what do I want to narrow it down to? Because at first I was like, what do I offer? Now I'm like, wow, I offer a lot. Instead of just narrowing it down. What I really want to focus on is kind of where I get stuck sometimes.
So this is helping you hopefully narrow down what you want to focus on, and that you've come to acknowledge that you do offer a lot.
Yeah.
Even as a brand new person. And John was saying this has helped him think about how we market ourselves and what we bring to the table. What about those on Zoom? Come on, Zoomers, share.
I think what it's been helping me do is, instead of flailing around in 20 different directions, to concentrate in 1 and 2 areas and start spending my time on those, which I did last week. But it was a good week. But it's focusing, and I don't know. I just that's what I'm pulling out of it. Is quit reaching everywhere, find something and do it.
So about focus, I appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, in the beginning well, it's kind of, think about it. When you're new, we just throw everything at you, fast and furious. We're just throwing everything at you. So it is kind of hard to focus when all of this flow or rush of information is coming to you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so let's go to our homework, and our homework was, oops, don't want to go there yet. Our homework was 2 things. Assess your current and planned prospecting activities. So that was so that you could help start narrowing down where you think you want to focus. And ideally, if you've read the MREA, and if you've done your business plan with your coach, or in David's business planning clinic, then you're going to know that the 1-3-5 in the business plan has you focusing on 3 forms of lead generation at a very high level. That doesn't mean you don't do any other kind of lead gen, but those are your babies. That's what you're going to focus on. That's what you're going to put the most time, attention, and effort into. And that's what we're hoping to expose you to. So when you did this activity, how do you prospect? Did any of you use the for sale by owner and the expireds list to contact Honar? Matt, you do? Great. Anybody else? Anybody else use the for sale by owners and expired lists that you get every day or every weekday from my assistant Billy? And if you're wondering what to do with those, please read the email, and there are video links there that you can watch how other agents, and we've got a session on expired and FSBOs in Lead Gen 36-12-3 that is packed with scripts and samples and a whole bunch of materials. go along with that. So, anybody do any farming yet? Is farming going to be something you do?
Started that and just kind of.
Serenity started it.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I know it's a long-term game, but I just wanna have like a plan, like once a month meeting with them.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, farming is something you have to really plan out and be committed to. Good morning, Soraya. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, come on in. So, farming can be geographic. It also can be demographic. You can target and farm first-time homeowners. First-time home buyers. You can, target and farm empty nesters. So you can do geographic farming is the most traditional, but you can also go and do demographic farming. How about open houses? How many of you use open houses for your lead gen? Yeah, Serenity? Yeah,
We even take
Brian?
farming.
Soraya? Yeah, open houses can be a phenomenal way. I can't wait to teach that session. Matter of fact, the other coaches didn't have a choice. I snatched the open house class because I love open houses so much that I wanted to teach that one in this series of classes for the Lead Gen 36-12-3. So I'm so excited about that. Who does businesses or maybe small businesses? Is anybody lead gen with small businesses?
Yeah, like business to business, like chamber stuff.
Yeah, yeah. John says yes. Yeah, it can be a very powerful, you can even create your own BNI, business networking group, and have someone from insurance, have a realtor yourself, have other small business owners in which you help each other with referrals and with advice and helping build their businesses. I hope you guys understand that the learning that you're going through and what you're learning from the MREA book and from all these materials is really applicable to many small businesses. It's not just real estate. So the things you're learning about can be applied to other businesses, and you being able to share that knowledge with fellow small business owners could be so powerful. They don't know how to work their database the way we're learning how, very few of them. They don't know very much about marketing themselves, especially if they didn't buy a franchise or something like that that gives them all of that. How many of you are?
Hey, Kristen,
Yes.
on that, is there like a list anywhere where it's like, for like finding vendors? Because of course, like just like you said, like, oh, have the realtor, have the insurance, have the title company. I'd love if there was like a list somewhere where I could then fill in those slots.
Yeah,
Like myself.
There is an Ignite. I forget which
I know
session.
Brett has one that he gave me, but I was just curious if like there was like a blank template anywhere.
Well, there's one in Ignite, like I
Okay.
said, I don't know which session right off bat.
Yeah, I'll
But
check
it's
it
kind
out.
of a memory jogger. Think of
Okay.
it as the yellow pages. Think
Yeah.
of all the different categories in the yellow pages, if you're old enough to remember.
That's that's a great idea.
Kind of what they actually call that
I can
exercise.
actually use my yellow pages,
Yeah.
So,
That's what they call that exercise. So how many of you are marketing to the people that you know? Okay, everybody should say yes, 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 yes. That is not optional. Even if you don't have that many people in here, you need to be marketing to them because the size and quality of your database is going to be reflected in the growth and size of your business and your bank account. So it's very important. So just any other forms of, good morning, Cecilia. Any other forms of lead gen that you're doing right now that you want to share?
social media outreach.
Social media, love it. Yep. Any others? Okay. Any agent referrals going on or out of town referrals that you're working? And letting people know that even though they don't live in Kansas City, you can help them find a good agent no matter where they live. Is such a powerful one for you all being new. It's actually how some of you make your very first commission check, is with people out of town, referring and connecting them with a really good agent. Okay. And then the other exercise from last Thursday was time blocking. Did everybody put lead generation on their calendar? Show me. Show me. Serenity's bringing up her calendar.
I have to adjust it.
And if
Do you
you're
want
on,
me to share into
if you're
Zoom,
on-
or you want me to pull it up on my phone?
yeah, pull it up on your phone. I want to see it.
They're like, everybody with me being dual career, it's overwhelming.
Mm.
I feel like everybody's like 9 to 11, I'm like.
No.
Yeah,
Have you looked at the dual career transition plan?
yeah, because I just want to be.
Okay.
I just-
Well, on the back of it,
Yeah,
on the back of that page,
uh-huh,
and that's in your orientation booklet, the dual career transition plan, there is a schedule
Yeah.
of how a very successful dual career agent transitioned into full-time. And it was a minimum of 15. Okay. I can kind of see, okay.
I can, yeah.
I see the
You
blocks.
can
No,
see
I can see it.
blocks.
Awesome. Thumbs up, Ryan. If it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. So let's
Exactly.
not pretend that we're doing lead gen when we don't have it on our calendar. And here's the other thing I know, it may take you a little while of having it on your calendar before you actually start honoring it. Or forming that habit. Have you found that, oh, it's on your calendar, but you'd go do something else? Oh, I've done it. Hey, let's be real. But what you must replace, meaning if you didn't do it then, you got to make that up. Really want to build this business. This isn't oh, I can do a little bit here, a little bit there. You can, but that's not a sustainable business. So if you want a business where you just help people occasionally when they come to you, and you don't need to put food on the table doing this activity, that's fine. That is one of your options. But if this truly is something to have more income, be it's your side gig, or is going to be your full-time gig, then you have to be consistent. You have to be. This isn't a stop and start business. It doesn't work very well like that because it's built on momentum. So all the activities you do, all the open houses you do, all the people that you talk to, all the reaching out that you do, all of that is building momentum. And I know sometimes you can't see it and feel it, but I can. When I see how active you are, I can actually feel the energy of your business starting to grow when I see all the activity that you're doing. So time blocking is crucial. I want you to be able to show your coach what your time blocking calendar, or me. So those of you online, if you, I want you to take a picture of your schedule. I want everybody to take a picture of their calendar and their time blocking, and I want you to post it on GroupMe. I see who's here. So I know who I should be looking for, because I want you to inspire others. And when you have to show it to others, then you're like, oh, dang, I got to do it. Oh, dang, I got to do it. And I'll post mine too. Okay, is that fair? I mean, I have to schedule my time too.
you're so good at it. I was like, I'm gonna be, I don't know, like, you were this really good, like, you're like the pro.
I had to, you know why, Serenity? I had to be, because as you get busier,
Yeah,
this is what would happen to me. I would double book, or I would forget an appointment. And the double booking felt horrible, because then I had to go to somebody and say, can I reschedule you? Which to me felt like I'm saying to you, you're not important enough to have first dibs on my time.
do you like, cause I travel so much without having my car, and I thought about putting it in there, cause I just taken my husband to work as an hour every single day that I
Yep.
spend, not including coming to the office. So I thought about, it probably needs to be in there, like,
Can you do any lead gen while you're, well, do your training, do you listening to podcasts and that type of thing while you're in the car?
I just don't know if I can.
And that's up to you.
Yeah.
I want you driving safely.
Yeah.
However, I use it as a learning time because I listen to podcasts, or if I miss Pivot Shift Ahead at 7 in the morning, then I'll re-listen to it in the car because you don't have to watch it. You can listen to it and still get great value. So use those times effectively if you can for the learning part. And then that way you feel like you got something accomplished during that drive time. I have a 32-minute drive one way to the office every day and to back home. So I love that time because it's that time that, well, I wake up in the morning while I'm driving, but I'm still feel like I'm being productive because I use that time. Okay.
Like 2 hours in my car.
Yes, it is. And so carve out a little time for you that's a learning time or just an uplifting time. If it's time you want to do some learning and then something that's motivational for you, whether that's spiritual or motivational, whatever that is, do that during your drive time. I know agents who on the way to appointments have favorite songs that they play to get them ramped up. So it's kind of like, what's your walk-on song, right? Right? So what would be your song to get you pumped up before you go on an appointment? Think of that as a use of your drive time. Okay, so everybody's gonna post their schedules. I will post mine later on today on GroupMe. I want a snapshot of what your time blocking looks like. Because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, and I doubt you're doing it in a consistent manner, okay? Let's jump into marketing. Today we're gonna get into, I'm gonna minimize this screen, into marketing for lead gen and defining your brand. That's what we're gonna talk about today. Thursday, we're gonna talk about marketing your brand, marketing listings, systematic marketing, and then we'll put it all together at the end. So you know the routine. Go ahead and scan. Oh, you guys didn't tell me that we stopped. Hold on, we just stopped the share here. You gotta let me know when the share goes off, when the casting. Because I had it up and then I did it. It depends on my audience. Okay, you know the routine. Scan. Let me know that you're here. This is lead gen 3612-3, and it is marketing. So take a moment and do this so that we can know that you were here. And then we are going to dive into this material because they say I can get these classes done in like 2 hours. There's so much material. That's why are you reading the materials before class? Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're not, you're missing value and you're missing content because I'm not touching everything in the content because there's so much, so much. So the value is in you reading. So did anybody have any takeaways from the reading for today on marketing?
I think the biggest thing for me is that sometimes I get caught up in just either prospecting or just marketing, but they're like, they're both equally important. I know, I think it's like the 80-20. And so, yeah, you can prospect, but you also need some form of marketing underneath just to help boost you.
I love that. Serenity said that she has had a hard time marrying the two, the marketing and prospecting. She's done marketing and then she's done prospecting, but she hasn't, it sounds like you haven't yet married them.
Yeah.
And that's where this is going to really help you in the marketing, because the marketing should be like your introduction. It should be your reason to follow up with people. It should be your lead in to you. So it helps that. And then it should be what keeps you top of mind consistently with prospective clients. So when we think about, oh, wow, yeah, be a relentless marketer. What's a relentless marketer? Has anybody seen the movie, Glenn Ross? Glenn Ross?
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, well, if you haven't, I almost think that we should watch it like on a Wednesday night Warriors. It is about real estate agents. It's a 1980, I think it's a 1980s movie. It's about 4 agents that are working for a troubled real estate company. And it is about, one night the company says, we're gonna give you a challenge, all 4 of you agents. And they have to get as many sales as possible in one night using the company's tired old set of leads, not even new, fresh leads, old leads. And the person that gets the highest sales, they get a Cadillac. I don't know if that would be a draw now as
You get a
much.
1989 Eldorado Cadillac.
Listen, you know it. And the person in second place gets a set of steak knives and everybody else gets fired. Everybody else gets fired. So 2 get to stay, 2 get canned. And it's a terrific film. And however, it underscores the moral of the story is the one who owns the leads owns the business. The one that owns the leads owns the business, meaning you have people to talk to and contact. You are building a database so you can connect with them and grow your business. And so the key to success is be alert, proactive, and empowered. It's about that proactive part. If you're not good at being proactive, it is a skill that you're going to have to develop because business isn't going to come to you. It's just not. You can't just do an announcement and they come running. You might get lucky and get a piece of business from somebody seeing you as an agent, but most likely you're going to have to go out and get your business. And so if you wait for others, if you wait and there are people who buy leads, which can be effective, but they're so expensive. And I find majority of agents just waste money on it because they don't know how to follow up. They have no system. They waste their money. They waste their leads and they think it doesn't work. And so don't wait for the leads. You have to be proactive and go get them, right? So when we talk about marketing, well, here we are. We're still building our building. Marketing, you are here, marketing. We're working up to the top until we get to the roof of our lead generation building. Lead generation is like bread. It won't work without certain ingredients. So what does bread need? Bread needs flour. Let's say flour are people, right? Let's say yeast is prospecting. So that's going to get the flour to rise. You need water, marketing, and your daily habit provides the heat to bake the bread. You have to have marketing, prospecting, and the daily habit to have the success. That's what Serenity was talking about. She's doing them kind of separately. She hasn't brought that all together. You have to do all of that to have the success. What is marketing? So when we talk about marketing, marketing is a more passive form of lead generation, and the goal is to attract leads. It is more passive because you're just sending stuff out. You're just putting things in front of people. You attract business, doesn't find business. So it just means somebody, that's like mass mailing, what have you. And we'll get into some of the statistics that I think are going to be really important for you to understand. What are the disadvantages? What does it say there? expensive, less immediate in its results, usually takes longer. Because there's not a personal element to it. It's more, again, it's passive. Yes, Rev.
And learning how to really get, if you say the connections and how you put yourself out there with the people will make the success more.
Yeah, you've got to connect with people to have enough people who have a need for you. And one of the things we're going to talk about is, what does that number look like? How many people do you need to be talking to? And so with marketing, you have to go out to more people because it takes more time, it's less personal, and it's less memorable. It should be reinforcement of your prospecting. It should complement your prospecting. The advantage of it can be efficient use of time. So if you have things automated, like email campaigns, we call those smart plans, right? If you have those going out, that can be very effective. I do that. So I just took some old leads, like the movie. I took old leads and I put them on a smart plan. 304 of them I put on a smart plan. Of that, in the last week, I've gotten 5 people to bubble up and say, I think I'm interested. These are people I've talked to maybe a couple of years ago, have said, well, time's better for me. I'm in a better place. I have the money. But 5 of them bubbled up from that. So every time I reach out to old leads, I get somebody to bubble up. You should have the same. As you're doing all these open houses, what are you doing with those leads? Even if they don't get back to you, even if they never respond to you, if you've got contact information for them, you should be able to talk with them and be in front of them. Reaches a larger audience. Yes, Serenity.
I know like we have the 8x8 command and that's super useful, but like when I look at them, they all, like I'll have people come in that are just wanting to sell and not buy. But that 8x8 like is marketing to people that are buying. And so that's where I am like, man, I wish there was like an easy way to kind of send out to help me leverage. But I don't know what that looks like right now.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing, I've got the open house smart plan for you all, the follow-up on the open house leads. Have you looked at that in the library, in command, in smart plans? Go to the library, the big library, the public library, and type in KWNKC. And you'll see I have an open house lead follow-up. That would be one, and then I'm going to create just a strictly buyer and a seller one.
Okay, so that's more of a generic one. I know, like, yeah, so I just didn't know what to say, because if I have 10 leads to me, they get overwhelmed. I mean, it's great, but I'm like, how do I market individually to each
You
one?
don't, you have to, your marketing has to have a more general, and then the personal touch is layered on top of that. So I'll give you an example. I put somebody on, I do the same thing you guys do. I have an appointment. I talk to a recruiting lead.
Yeah.
And they immediately, right after the conversation, I send them a follow-up email saying, great to talk with you. Here's the information that we went over. And then they go on a smart plan. Okay, the smart plan is quietly working in the background. And then I will reach out to them and say, hey, do you have any questions through a text message or something more personal of a touch. Make sense? So your smart plans have to be more generalized. They really do. And it's just so that they don't fall through the cracks.
Yeah, no, that's weird, because I was doing Julia, but then it just seems so generic, but I guess it's supposed to.
It's okay. You still have to do personal touches. That's the prospecting. Remember, the smart plan will be your marketing.
Okay.
Remember, it's less memorable, it's less personal. It's got good general information. And hopefully a call to action. We'll talk about this in this course, in this class. And then you do personal touches on top of that. If you just do the smart plan and not the personal touches, then you might not grow that connection.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, great question. Great question. So We know what the benefits and disadvantages are. Here's the truth. The role of marketing during your growth phase is to supplement your prospecting. I also say complement. Supplement, complement your prospecting. So they go together, they go together, they go together. Marketing should strengthen your prospecting. Good morning. Marketing gives you a reason to call a prospect. Hey, did you get that postcard I sent to you about values in your neighborhood, home values in your neighborhood? Would you like to have more information of what your home value might be looking like right now? Marketing provides the touch that will set you apart and makes you memorable after you've prospected. After you've prospected. So it's reinforcing, hopefully, the great interaction you had. So you have an open house, get a great interaction, you put them on a smart plan, that is reinforcing that start of that relationship. And again, then you have to put the personal on top of that too. The marketing should give you the leverage that something's consistently going out to all those leads or to your database. And then the third thing, it's steady, consistent marketing helps you gain and retain mind share. I don't think she's on. Harumi is one of our new agents. And she and I dated for 3 years, meaning she was a recruit in my pipeline for 3 years. I put her on smart plans. I'd occasionally reach out and say, is now the time for you in real estate? She got a weekly email from me. I sent her the weekly email that you all get about what's going on. And she said that kept me excited.
Yeah.
That when it was time, when the time was better for me, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what office I wanted to come to because you didn't give up on me. And I didn't do a ton of personal touching on her. It's just she saw what we were doing here in the office and it kept her excited that she didn't give up on her dream. And you can do the same if somebody's wanting to buy a house and just can't buy a house right now. Be keeping that in front of them of steps that they could do to be a homeowner, to keep them engaged and educate them. So that is what the marketing helps you do, is stay in front of someone for the long term. I run my recruiting just like I ran my business as an agent. I kept every lead and I'd go in and fish in my old leads all the time. Things started getting slow. I'd go fishing. I'd throw out, hey, real estate school classes are starting, coming up. Is it time for you to get registered? So I go fishing all the time in my old leads. You should too. And if you've been consistently talking to them, then most likely they will think of you when the time is right. It's the same for you. You want them thinking of you when the time is right. That's what marketing keeps you in front of them. And don't, and we'll talk about this in the materials this week, but don't overthink it. I'm looking at Serenity. She looked up right now. You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
It's so simple. So when I'm in class, I'm like, Jesus, why is this so hard? So like I like lists, so I'm making a list of what I need. So even if it's just like checking it off, because I need that.
Yes.
So that's what I'm like.
I'm a checklist gal too. That makes me feel good.
You already have it. I'll go look in your.
Marketing gives you a reason to prospect. So on page 10 of your materials, it gives you the reason. It sets you apart after prospecting. So one of the things that's so important is what kind of follow-up do you do after you meet people? One of the most impactful things, well, one is speed counts in this day and age. Used to be we could take a little bit longer to follow up with the lead. Oh no, oh no, oh no. There are other agents who will be faster than you if you take your time. Like we were taught after an open house, the next day, write a handwritten note to them and put your card in there. Well, that's too long. After you leave my open house, if nobody else is around, I'm actually, and I got your information, I'm texting you or emailing you and saying, hey, loved meeting you. I'm gonna send you some more information about houses that have that kitchen that you said is your dream kitchen. I might not have one in mind, but I'm gonna get on MLS and find something. Right? So I'm following up immediately, and that's how I won a lot of leads. That's how I converted a lot of leads in open houses, is I was the fastest agent to follow up with them. They met other good agents, nice agents that day when they went to open houses. Do you think they just go to one open house? Usually not. They're going to several. So they're meeting other nice agents. And then I would still do a handwritten note, because I think that's impactful. But I will have made my immediate follow-up and then my soft touch with like a handwritten note. If I got that information, Serenity. No, I love the questions.
So, okay, so many times in my open house, and I did that with somebody, they were like, oh, we don't like this, not like this, so then I just went on there and I searched, right? But then I like followed up with them, but I haven't been consistent because my brain is like, wow, I have 10 other people that all need personal touches. But how did you keep up with those like 10 people? Because you have a database of a couple hundred.
So if you have your time blocking
Yeah.
done, then you know leads in your time blocking for lead generation, that would be my priority every day, is who do I need to follow up with of my leads first?
So do you like make a list of who to follow up with? So you like have a follow-up list?
Or you can have it in command and have it under tasks and have them pop up on your app of who you need to contact today.
Okay, maybe that's.
Because then you don't have to worry about it. You're just setting the tasks of when you need to follow up with people, because yeah, you'll forget.
Okay, so that would be in my lead gen times.
Mhm. Oh yeah, 100%.
I was thinking like it would be a separate time.
No, lead gen time. I like that. I like that Serenity's asking. She said that should be in my lead gen time. Yes, follow up is lead gen.
Because I need to spend 30 minutes for 2 hours lead gen and then 30 minutes follow up.
Follow up to get them in command and that type of thing, the admin part. So follow up is lead gen when you're contacting
Okay.
prospective people and leads. Here comes
Even if it was like a couple weeks ago, when I like failed not to follow up consistently, still just like randomly reach out to. Okay.
Say, I was thinking of you, and if you have one little bit of information, follow up with that. So if they told you one thing they wanted in a house, then try to find something or some reason to follow up with them and said, I was thinking of you, saw this house and I was thinking of you,
Okay.
or saw this article, was thinking of you.
So really just putting everything in command is like a one.
Yeah, because if you have, and you can have a list, a list to put in front of you. But that'll prompt you, if you look at your app, your agent app under tasks, it's there for you to be able to see what you need to do that day. Soraya, you had a question.
So I noticed that like if you have 10 people that come to your open house, you would immediately send an email to them just to keep in contact. But is it okay to spread out like the personal touches throughout the week?
Oh yeah, so we actually have, that's where some of the follow-ups like the 8x8 and that type of thing give you something, a system to use. A system of your follow-up is really important so that you are consistent. But I do know the power of your follow-up is so important in the beginning, and I would be touching these people like once a day for the first 3 days to see if they really are ready to go, if they're really interested. Yeah, even if they don't respond, because people get busy. I can't overthink why they didn't respond to me. If I do, I'll never follow up. I can't think, oh, they don't want to work with me. Oh, they don't want to buy. Oh, they don't, whatever. I can't overthink that. I have to have them tell me to go away, or I'm working with another agent. Otherwise, I go into what I call my magical thinking that you could be mine. You could be mine. And wouldn't you want to work with an agent who's diligent in trying to help you? That's right.
If they use this contact, you can tell them you're way to my house. How often would you reach out to them? Once a month or bi-weekly?
Well, in the first, I would do, there's different strategies. There's an 8x8, one touch a week for 8 weeks. I think that's old school. I think you need to shorten that into like 4-week window, 8 touches in 4 weeks, just because of how communications are accelerated now than when this was written. Does that make sense? So I would accelerate that because they said or showed interest in taking action now. I want to see if I do the repetitive touches in a tighter window, then I'm going to see if that's really true or not, and if they want to work with me. If I don't hear from them, I still then will put them on something that they'll get something once a month from me. Make sense? So I'm making decisions that I never throw away a lead. Look at what I just said about my old recruit leads. I put 304 of them and 5 of them have already bubbled up. You can see the same. Thanks, Soraya.
Have a good one, thank you.
You're welcome. So these touches make a difference. They really do. Let me get it to move to the next slide. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. I want you to look at these numbers, and it's really important for you to understand. Okay, so 12.9% reminds us the value of prospecting combined with marketing. So look at here, and I would say telephone or in person. 12.95% response rates. Yeah, because it's personal, it's belly to belly, it's voice to voice, it's face to face. That always has more power and impact than anything else. I don't care what you say. It does. However, not everybody communicates that way consistently, right? But look at direct mail. Look at and they have direct mail letter size, direct mail oversize, direct mail postcard, catalog, email. And this is for all sales, not just real estate sales. But if you notice, the different response rates. So when you do the marketing, remember, if you get a 3%, 3 to 5% is golden in mass marketing. That's like score big time. And you're thinking, whoa, only 5% return is good. Yes, it is. Because remember, this was less personal. And so you're just putting messaging out to them and they took the bait, right? So I think it's very important that you understand. So using like a 12 direct, and if you read the materials, what is a 12 direct? I just kind of said it a couple minutes ago. Something I do with the lead. If you don't respond, what do I do? How many times? No, I do it once a month. A 12 direct is something once a month. That to me is a lead that didn't go anywhere. We met. I thought we really connected. You gave me your information, but you didn't come back to me. You ghosted me. Well, I don't take offense. I can't, because it's a numbers game. And so I'll put you on after an 8x8. I always start out with like an 8x8, something intense follow-up. There's a 10 days of pain that some agents do, and they will call, text, and email all on the same day. And then they'll dribble that down a little bit, and that's all over 10 days. So there's different ways of doing this, different philosophies. But when you do the 12 direct, over time yields a 2% return. That's what happened to me. All those old leads, I would get I get a 2 to 3% return every year from those old leads. Because I had them on a 12 direct. That's pretty sweet for doing little to nothing. That means I didn't call them. That means I just literally had them on a monthly email. Do you know that's more than 75% of what other agents do? Olgie.
Also, just something to think about that you said I thought was important is you can't take them not responding personal. Everyone has different jobs or hours or whatever the case may be, and if someone gets mad at you for calling them, sometimes maybe they just text more you'll gauge how they want to be communicated with. It's not
100%.
personal. I did have in my past job people that would get mad at the call. And it was just because of their job or whatever, they prefer text, and then our relationship built just through text. Then you have people that prefer to call,
Yes.
and then they got text as a personal, so it all just depends on.
I love that. So what Olgie was sharing is that you can't take it personally and you have to be aware of how they like to be communicated with. Have a sensitivity. Just because you don't like emails doesn't mean other people aren't open to emails. Just because you don't like text messages doesn't mean other people don't like text messages. Try to find out how they best like to be communicated with and honor that. Honor that so that that's what you're doing consistently with them, because some people won't answer their phone ever. And don't leave me a voicemail. I hate voicemails. Yes, people do it, but I hate them. Well, and sometimes they float and don't drop
Yes.
same day. Somebody will say, oh, I left you a voicemail. I'm like, and then it drops and I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah, well, 2 days later, there's your voicemail. You can leave one, but also leave me a text message or send me an email. That's gonna
Funny.
be.
I like to, when people leave a voicemail, then I can read it.
Yeah, and it's just, I can read them, but then it's probably the thing I fall down on following up on the most. And you know what I've done? Here's a hack for me. When I get a text message or I get a voicemail, I'll do a screenshot and email it to myself. So that, because remember, here's the thing, a challenge for you all. When you're getting communications from all different directions, something's going to drop in between the cracks. And for me, once your text message, if I can't do it, if I can't respond at that moment and it drops down, out of sight, out of mind. No offense, but out of sight, out of mind, and I might forget. So I've gotten in the habit to protect me. I screenshot it and put it into my email because my email is my workflow. That's how I work. And you've got to find out how you manage. If you're not good at managing emails, guys, you better learn, because once you have transactions and you have so many different parties emailing you on one transaction, you have the title company, you have the lender, you have the other agent, you have your client, you have the inspector, you have all of these parties, you have the office. All these parties emailing you about one transaction. Think if you have 5 at one time. So you better be good about managing your emails and being on top of them and working them. Find the workflow that's best for you. But so does this kind of help seeing this average response rate? So don't take this as bad, because these are things that can be very efficient in marketing that are automated. That's what I love. Mithna, I only need to prospect or market to be successful. Okay, Serenity talked about this. Successful lead generation is a combination of 2 things, prospecting and marketing. Myth number 2, purpose of prospecting and marketing is to get appointments. Well, yes. However, I want this to really resonate and I want you to take this in. The purpose of prospecting and marketing is to get appointments and increase your database of Mets. Because is everyone you meet going to be now business? No, not at all. It is not going to be now business. Not all business is now business. Build your database consistently. Because think about it. Okay, so why do you think I hang on to all those old leads?
But one you said, well, we're back to 3 years.
3 years. So I have to, when my other lead sources get quiet, then I have to have other ways to see if I can find somebody else. And that's why getting those 5 people to react and say to me, have either questions or say, I'm ready. Wow. Wow. And you've got leads in your world right now just like that. And if you're not consistently following up and asking, hey, is it time? Is it time? I know that you were interested in buying a house last year, a couple of months ago, last week. Is that still something you're wanting to do? And if so, let's talk about different strategies to make that happen. Ogie.
So I remember in one of our meetings, our big office meetings, they talked about a gal that just likes to foster 15 accounts, and that's her business. And she's just maintained, I mean, she's like made millions off of just these 50 people. At what point do you try to kind of corral your generation and just foster a certain amount of people? Or do you just, in the first few years, just want to get as many under your belt?
I love that she's done that, but there's a danger to that.
Okay.
Huge danger to that. And that is the turnover rate. So if you've had a database of 50 that's fed you well over the years, that's with the old average of 12 to 14% turnover rate, meaning for those 50 people, then 12 to 14% of them are going to have a housing need, or they're going to refer you someone. Okay. Well, last year it was 4%. That's why every successful agent in this office, almost every single one of them didn't have a big enough database not to take a hit last year. They didn't grow their business. They maybe got to the year before goal or volume, but they didn't exceed. And that has happened to agents all around the country. So be very careful. That's why I'm not of the philosophy of refining it down. Now, how I spend my time, Olgie, is different. I spend my time with my top tier people, personal time, and the others I can market to. Does that make sense? So to me, you've got to have different pools. And if you don't have a big enough database, then it can't weather every market.
I was just curious of the validity of that.
Well, it can work, but it scares me.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like it's a niche thing that works for her, but it's like
I wouldn't recommend it because I know what happened last year, 4%. And I don't think the turnover rate has grown that much this year. I don't think it has. It might be the same or even a little lower than 4%. So 4% of the people you know in here last year bought or sold, or they referred someone. So however many people you have in here, then times 4%. That's what you have potential of. And then hopefully as the market expands and more buyers come into the market and more inventory, then hopefully we'll get back to the 12 and 14 that's usually historically the averages. But we've got to winter-proof our businesses. And so that's just my philosophy. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just, I'm always thinking about, well, I want to be built so I can weather anything. Any marketing I do builds mind share. Myth. Truth is, if you don't market repeatedly and consistently, you are throwing your money away. So if you're going to do marketing sporadically, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Because you're wasting your money and time. Only if you do it consistently and persistently will you get return on it. Remember, did I say this business is built on momentum? It's not a stop and start business. And if you do your marketing in a stop and start manner and your prospecting, you're not going to get the momentum you need to get it off the ground so that you build a pipeline so that you have a steady business. Does that make sense? So building mind share is, and the way you get to consistency is by having systems like smart plans. Let's get in. I want to touch this last portion because this is going to be your homework that you're going to work on. Defining your brand. And we'll go just a little bit long since we don't have a business meeting. I'm going to keep you guys a little bit longer. Hope you don't mind. What is branding? It makes you memorable and valid. 2 ways to build reputation. Marketing your unique selling or value proposition. We've worked on that in week 2. Your UVP, and then they also call it your unique selling proposition. What is it about you? What will the experience be that you can articulate when someone works with you? And then delivering your USP and customer service. Everything can be part of your brand. There is no right or wrong brand. So 2 ways to build that reputation. If you look on page 17, it has everything and anything can be part of your brand. I know this might sound crazy, but your style of dress, your sense of fashion, your car, your use of technology, your website or your social media, your level of service and efficiency, your accessibility. Please don't say I'm available 24/7. Please don't do that to yourself. You have a choice. You do not have to have the doors of your business open 24/7. That is not being a good business owner. I'm just saying, it's easy to do when you're self-employed. It's an easy trap to get into, to think I gotta respond every moment. The area you work in can be part of your brand. How you stage an open house. How many phone numbers you list on your card. I don't know what that is. How you answer the phone, the quality of your marketing materials, the frequency of your direct mail outs, your mailers, your signs, your pre-listing packet, your community involvement, your knowledge of the area. All of those things can be part of your branding. What makes you special? What makes you unique? We have an agent who, and I've seen it with some of them. Well, Kylie Willis, do you know, she fosters dogs. She has like 7 dogs in her house. You see Ashley, the office mascot, her dog, come in the office. But Kylie, do you know that most of her clients are dog owners? Because that's something that she has promoted and given back to our community and nonprofits and what's important to her and her passion. She's used that in her business. What are you passionate about that you can incorporate into your business? Franny Knight, does everybody know who Franny is? Urban Cool KC? Well, part of her branding is her bright, vivid hair. Is it pink or is it purple today? I don't know. But you know that there's a flamboyance that comes with Franny.
And you can tell, like, with the listings she gets, like they fit into the brand.
Don't they? They fit into her personality and but she built that niche, John. So Franny, he was saying that her listings match her, and her brand, and they do. But her Urban KC Cool Facebook page, she was the pioneer in Kansas City of all agents, of all real estate agents in Kansas City. She was the pioneer to use social media to gain an audience. Because she would go out, before she had many listings, she would go out and find the coolest midtown listings, Urban Cool, and she would promote them on her Facebook page. Now, she got in a lot of trouble at first because she didn't do listing credits and stuff. She was a pioneer. She said, I had to learn the hard way. And then I got better, but I just started doing it. And then I learned how to do it the right way, and the correct way. But she curates a list of cool, and so people go there so they don't have to search through an MLS search or a search app to find cool houses. They know that Franny does that for them.
I just met someone that my daughter goes to school with that moved from out of state, and that's who she used because she's like urban cool. I was like, dang it. So it
Well,
works.
she's been branding a little bit longer, Laura, but it gives you, it shows you that you can use your personality and style to be who have it reflect your business. Who do you want to, okay, so I had a recruit say to me, well, I have tattoos and I have tattoos on my arms and legs. I don't think I can be an agent. And I said, yes, you can. You're probably going to attract people who are like you because they're going to be comfortable with you. And that's okay. That's the beauty of this business. None of us are perfect fit for everybody.
Mhm.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. None of you are everyone's cup of tea. We're looking for the people we want to connect with. And that's why your brand, defining your brand is so important. Bruce Hardy, who I've had on page 18, who I've had the pleasure of seeing in person. Remember, I told you a lot of these stories. I've met and experienced these instructors, KWU instructors in person. He's got a great Australian accent. And his logo has a kangaroo in it. That makes sense, doesn't it? For him, it makes sense. How is Kyle Talbot, who is going to be speaking at Mega Camp this week, how has he branded himself? What does it say on his Instagram page? What's his handle? Casey, well, that's his Instagram. But what does he say underneath his picture? Anybody know? Casey Hype Man. Casey Hype Man. And he says, I don't do negative stuff on KC. I'm just hyping. I love KC. And now he's got the mayor reposting his post. I see other agents reposting his post. I don't think they know he's an agent. Because I see people outside of our office reposting his post of what to do this weekend in Kansas City, right? So he's built his brand on I'm the hype man. And that's, I know all about Kansas City and I know neighborhoods and I sell them. And his business has taken off. So that's where your brand is so important. And there's no one right brand. You have to find what matches you. What matches you. I mean, red hair has always been my husband's, what we call our trips and stuff. And I don't always tag it. I should. I don't always hashtag it. But Red Cloud Homes is his business because Red and his last name is Cloud. And so we call our trips Red Cloud Adventures. Red Cloud Adventures, because that's my red hair. His last name is Cloud. So, you know, that was some branding for him that he says, I want to use that for my business, Red Cloud Homes. I said, okay. So that's what he does. So it made sense. So do you remember, did you do from week 2, did you do your unique value proposition? Do you have it written? Okay, because you're going to use it. If you didn't, you need to go back and do this because you need to use it to get to your branding. So you need to refine it. It expresses the true value of working with you. What is it that makes it special? Cecilia, I'm fluent in Spanish and can help you through a complicated process. That is such a huge value. Same with you, Omi. Bilingual. That should be part of your unique value proposition that you bring to the table. Okay, so you have to have your unique value proposition or your unique selling proposition. So if you didn't finish that exercise from week 2, you need to go back and do that because you then need to do, once you refine that, Then you're going to analyze your style. I think this is kind of fun. Okay, you're gonna take your USP, your style and brand, and then, so you're gonna refine it, like I said, and then you're going to analyze your style. So go to page 22. There's a style analysis on page 22. So, and they give some examples here, and we'll talk about that. So complete your style analysis. This is part of your homework. Is your style formal, business casual, informal? Is it conservative, chic, flamboyant, bohemian? Are your clients luxury, middle class, working class combination? Are they retirees, families, recent college grads combination? Are they younger, middle-aged, older? Describe your unique, how you are unique or memorable. I'm unique because, think of your background, think of your education, think of your hobbies, think of your appearance, think of your personal connections, what makes you unique. And then here's some words that sell to help you with fine-tuning this. These are words that sell, and customers respond positively to these words, like willing, I'm accurate, articulate, dedicated, experienced, hardworking. You know, one of the things that you all should be able to tell if somebody's worried about you being no, say, you know what? Unlike a really busy agent, I have time to dedicate just to you. You're going to get my full attention. I'm going to be hands-on. You won't get passed to someone else. Now, if I was a big agent, I'd say I have a concierge services and have people to be able to make sure this process is smooth as can be. So you can flip the messaging either way. Patient, honest, qualified, resourceful. That's a nice way of saying I work really hard and I don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to be resourceful. Polished, successful, tenacious, versatile. So you want to develop that brand identity statement. So here's an analysis of an agent. Here, an example on page 23. This is about somebody who was architect. If you read the materials, she was an architect, new homes, or just a new agent, and she used that to be able to talk about her branding. And she said in the analysis of her agent style, she said, my style is informal and sporty. My target audience is a mixture of laid-back college grads and working class and middle class families. I'm unique because I'm in a jazz band and have a degree in architecture. Some good words to describe me are accurate, energetic, highly motivated, and resourceful. Okay, that's how she put that all together to work on the brand identity. So on page 24, developing it's the statement of your core business identity. It's a combination of your style and your unique selling proposition, and it could guide the development of your lead generation action plan. So write that brand identity statement. And that is where you can see the exercise on page 25. So your homework is refine your USP, your unique selling proposition, to do your style analysis, and then an exercise on your brand identity statement. We're going to share those. So you got to have them done. We're going to share those on Thursday. I'm excited because it's going to ask you, why did you choose that USP? What aspects of your style will you use in your brand? Like, if you want to be like the easygoing guy next door or girl next door, or you want to be the cheerleader, or you want to be the warrior, what will you be for your clients? Does that make sense? Because you know what I am? I'm the warrior for my clients, because that's my personality. I'll go fight for you. I'll go make sure we get it done. I won't give up. I'm tenacious as nails, right? So that would be part of my branding. I don't know if I would say directly I'm a warrior, but I would use words that would say I'm your advocate. Does that make sense? I know this is going to take some brain power to do the brainstorming, but this is really important, you guys. This portion is not, it's not hooey, it's not fluff. We've got to be able to be unique and express that and show it in our branding. What do you want your brand? And it's okay if you're still in the development stage of that, but at least start thinking about this. And I bet in time you will fine tune it. So don't think, yeah, I've got to come up with my brand for life. You don't. But let's start that journey now. Let's start that messaging now. And a lot of agents have a tagline. What was one of the taglines? I saw one of the taglines. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, like a slogan. Like a slogan. A lot of them have a slogan. And that they'll do sometimes a play on their name.
Move with Melissa.
Something like that. So
where it just says the real estate agent and whose house it is.
yes, because that's the architect. So that's the example right there of her expertise in architecture. And then her slogan is the real estate agent who knows houses because of my background in architecture. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, are you up for this? Yeah, okay, Zoomers, what do you think? Let's wrap up. Give me some takeaways on Zoom first.
I love that you said, when you said not all business is now business. That was great. And I just like the word mind share. Like
Yeah,
that totally makes sense to me in the world of marketing, where you're getting that mind share to where when they think about real estate, they want to think about you. And you share that mind share. I love that.
remember right now your mind share is you're here and real estate's here. It's your job as a new agent to get it so they start thinking of you in real estate so that it's that consistency and persistence. It's not a one touch and done. Okay, other takeaways. Matt, Connor, Laura, Autumn, tell me what your takeaways are. Laura, if you're talking, you're muted.
Prepare for winter.
Ah, thank you.
I
Laura?
like the chart of the response rates by media. Just again, it reinforces the importance of phone calls and yeah.
And that personal touch. Yeah, yeah. Connor?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that even the leads that quit talking to you to keep them on a 12 touch once a month touch, I guess, to keep in touch with them because they may end up being possibly or know someone who may need to use for a realtor.
Definitely. Okay, what about you guys?
I would say, I feel like everything's really simple, and so like, this sounds simple, but it's not to overcomplicate anything, but this is like what I bring, what she brings, what he brings are all different, so we're gonna work with different, classes of people. and
Yes.
what we like and what it brings us.
Love that. As Serenity said that understanding that we're all going to have different people that we work with and that this is simple and not to overthink it. Olgie.
Kind of similar, but like to work with your brand, what makes you special, what makes you comfortable, and not trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
And work with your sector that you can find.
Yeah, it's about being authentic. That's what I love about real estate. You get to be authentic and not some corporate's vision of what they want people to be. You get to be authentic, and please don't try to be someone else. Now, you might borrow ideas from other agents. We do a lot of heavy borrowing of ideas, but please make it your own and be authentic to you, because this is relationship building. Cecilia, takeaway.
We have to keep in touch with the people.
Keep in touch with the people.
And being consistent and persistent.
Consistent and persistent.
So we can build a business.
Yes, very much so. John?
Just everything being part of the personal brand and how it's goes across everything, flows and the way you communicate and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Megan, did anything stand out to you?
It reminds me of the importance of having the branding as you build your career, and that image follows.
Yeah, building your brand and your image follows you. And like I said, it'll be developing. Don't think that I have to come up with the one. Start with where you want to start, and then you're going to fine tune it. Franny Knight fine tuned her image going forward, right? And she's very much about, her big thing is helping people buy homes that never thought they could buy homes. That's a big thing for her. So community involvement, and we're going to talk about that on Thursday. We're going to talk about even further. So read the materials if you didn't get all the way through. We're going to go and start at page 27 on Thursday, but we'll do homework first. So, and don't forget photos of your schedule, your time blocking. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for letting me keep you a little longer. I appreciate that very much. And you guys have a wonderful rainy day. And I will see you either on Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Warriors. Oh, did you see Linda did the contract challenge? Okay,
Yeah.
she said if you want to participate, Kristen doesn't feel that way. Kristen says participate on the contract challenge because you cannot practice writing contracts enough. I do not want to hear, I don't know what I'm doing in the panic of the moment. What?
New contracts out.
Not until Friday. So, but go ahead and use what we have. Reach out to Linda, so she'll give you the packet, the buyer scenario and everything. You should go preview the house if you can. And if a couple of you want to schedule a time to go do it together, go do that. I think that would be awesome. And then coming in the near future in Wednesday Night Warriors, we're going to do some field trips. Whoop, whoop, we're going to do some field trips on occasion. So we're going to put you in some houses. We might get an inspector to come and talk to you about inspections. We might have you show a house to each other. Yeah, we might have you practice open house. I don't know. I've just got some things cooking that we might be doing on Wednesday Night Warriors. How's that sound? Yeah, we're going to have some fun and learn and do. So go out and follow a time block schedule. Build up to those 3 hours of Legion every day. I know it doesn't come natural. I know it's hard in the beginning. But I think one of the things I'll leave on is what Serenity touched on earlier. All those efforts are remember, prospecting and Legion are the same thing. And Legion encompasses a lot of different activities. Anything that gets you connecting with people. Social media, text messages, phone calls, belly to belly, in person, networking, follow up, all of that is connecting with people. If you're connecting and reaching out to people, you're doing lead generation, okay? So, yes, Serenity.
When is the challenge due? Because I thought it was gonna be like a week and then it's been told 2 weeks, so I didn't know.
I think she's doing it so that we have 2 weeks. I'll double check with Linda and we'll give you the date of when the contract challenge is due, okay? So just reach out to Linda and then we'll post on GroupMe when the contract's due. And let's see who wins, who writes the winning offer. I dare you to write the winning offer. All right, guys.
Hey,
Thanks.
Kristen,
Yes,
did you say that Brett is at camp this week?
yeah, he's at Mega Camp. If you
Okay.
have a tech need, you can reach out to Yvette. She
I
can
was just
help with
curious
a
if
lot of
he was
things.
gonna do pickleball tomorrow still, because he.
Well, there will be pickleball. He just
Okay.
won't be there.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rutger Couples is going to be,
Nice.
he's
Rutgers
the,
doing it. Gotcha.
yeah,
Cool. Well, awesome.
yeah, pickleball. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.